Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. My name is Liaquat Zaman and I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Today, inshallah, we are going to be covering 40 hadith of Imam Mulla Ali Qari. So we've reached hadith number 5. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. A'linu an-nikah. Announce the marriage. The mother of the believers, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Announce this marriage, solemnize it in the mosques, and beat drums, duf, in honor of it." Narrated by Ahmad and Ibn Majah. Alright, so this is another hadith for us to look at and try to understand. So first of all, this hadith is talking about, if I can get this on here. So this hadith is talking about another important aspect, which is the importance of marriage. So in Arabic, the word for marriage is nikah. Nikah means marriage. And nikah is a very important concept in society. It brings large communities together. So nikah has never been about individuals. It's always been about bringing families together. So you have imagine two families. And the two families now come together because of the two individuals, right? So you have, let's say, a guy and a girl, and now they come together, and by them coming together, what's happened? It has actually brought together two communities together, and the two communities coming together now, inshallah, will give offspring, give children, and this will now be importance for the next generation that's going to come. So nikah has always been a way of solidifying, making the relationship solid and bringing responsibility as well. So solidifying and responsibility are very important concepts when it comes to marriage. Otherwise, if there is no solidification, if there is no responsibility being taken by both sides, then what tends to happen is this relationship can break at any moment and people don't take it seriously and will start taking advantage of the other person. So when it comes to Islam, Islam has told us about marriage and told us about the rules of getting married. And here in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned a very important concept. He said, announce the marriage, publicize the marriage, make the marriage public, tell everyone about it. So, sending out notifications, telling people, having a marriage ceremony, walima, where you have food and dinners and all sorts of things that people do, right? So it's when people get married, you have all these things taking place. So one of the things that the Arabs used to do when they would do marriages was that they would actually have a drum. So someone would actually stand with a drum in their hand, and this drum would be known as a duf, and that duf is hit and it would make a noise in the community, and that noise, everyone would know, okay, someone's getting married. Yeah, so if they heard that sound coming from someone's house, and the walls were not that thick anyway, so they would hear so and so is getting married. And then this would sort of like give the community this news announcement that two people are getting married. And now this would also, on the side, this would also make these two couple legitimate as well. So this would now become legit, and people would now not have suspicions about the relationship that these two people are having. And this would create harmony in the society as well. So this is why this sort of practice was something that the Arabs done. And according to some of the scholars, hitting the duf, and in some cultures you see this where when they have marriage, people get together, and especially with the women, they'll hit the duf, and they'll have this events as well. These are all there to tell the people about the importance of the marriage. But the main thing to remember is the nikah should be done without extravagance. Right? So people should not overspend on informing people that the marriage is done. Basic things like hitting the drum or having dinners, walimas, or small little dinners, telling people, or sending out invitations. These are like things that now people can do without really becoming too extravagant. So what do we learn from this then? So we learn about the importance of solidifying the marriage and understanding the importance of responsibility. And this is done through publicizing the marriage. Once it's publicized, then people become more serious about the marriage, and the rest of the community recognizes these two couples as being a legitimate couple. Okay, one more thing about this hadith is that the hadith mentions about the mosque as well. So the mosque, which is, an important part of the Muslim community, the mosque is also mentioned in this hadith, that you should do the nikahs in the mosque. And the reason again is because the mosque is considered to be a public location. People will come there. If you have the nikah in the mosque, the local community will find out about the nikah. And this was considered to be a public, and it still is today in many of our communities. The mosque is considered to be the hub for the community. So this is also something which is important. So Jazakumullah khair. What do we learn from this hadith? So we learn about the importance of announcing nikah, making the nikah as legitimate as possible, and not having secret relationships. Having secret relationships and not publicizing the nikah is something which is harmful for the relationship between the two people, and it can cause lots of problems in the community as well. So, just as getting married is an important thing for couples to do, also making that marriage legitimate as possible by publicizing it through the masjid, through announcements, through dinners, walimas, and even if you have to do the duf, you do the duf so that the nikah becomes recognized. So Jazakumullah khair. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, subscribe button, leave comments for me. I love reading your guys' comments. And also thank you very much to all my patrons. You guys are wonderful people. May Allah bless you. If any of you guys want to become patrons, support my channel, please check out the link in the description, and you can probably see on the screen now anyway. I hope Jazakumullah khair. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.